Hey, what's up you guys, it's Forge here and welcome back to another Minecraft mod review, and today we're on Thermal Expansion Part 7, and today we are going to be covering augments and upgrades. So yeah, as always, let's get into it guys. Okay guys, so far in this series I've shown you these items here, all these different ones. These represent all dynamos and these represent all machines basically, not devices, just machines, so the things that look like this, not the blue ones. And these guys are all at the basic tier. As you can see, they all say basic next to them. And in today's video, I'm actually going to be showing you how to upgrade them all so they are better and can hold more stuff, etc. As you can see, the strongbox isn't exactly very big. So if we come over to this chest, we have the hardened upgrade kit, and this is the first thing you're going to need, the first upgrade level basically. And this is made with a bronze gear, 4 invar ingots and 1 redstone, so I'll grab one of these guys. And then to the next level we have the reinforced upgrade kit, and this is made with a silver gear, 4 electrum ingots and 2 hardened glass. And then the next tier is the signalum upgrade kit, and this is made with 4 signalum ingots, 1 electrum gear and 2 cryotheum dust. And finally we have the resonant upgrade kit, and this is made with 4 enderium ingots, aluminum gear and 4 pyrotheum dust. Now these guys can just be used basically on any of these things simply by right clicking, but you can't just skip right to the top tier. As you can see, when I right click on all these guys, that doesn't work. You have to go through each tier of upgrade. So we have the hardened tier on each of these. And what it does for the machines and stuff is it unlocks this augmentation tab here, so you can place 1 augmentation in on the base tier here. It also allows it to hold more RF, so it will work faster. The steam dynamo, it makes it produce more RF and it unlocks the augmentation thing. The strongbox, it increases the size of the strongbox. The tank, it increases the amount it can hold. And the energy cell increases the amount it can hold as well, so 8 million RF now, as opposed to 2 million. Plus also the input and output RF per tick thing goes up as well. So we can add the reinforced, and that'll unlock 2. That changes color as well. As you can see, it makes that bigger, makes that hold 18 million. Can upgrade again, and that adds 3. Also there's a fly flying around in front of my face, and that holds 32 million. And then at the top level, we have the energetic infuser with 4 augmentation tabs and the 50 million RF storage of this guy, plus this guy's big. But that's essentially what these guys do. Another thing we can do is make these conversion kits, and these basically simplify the process of upgrading them so you don't have to right click so much. So to make the reinforced conversion kit, there is no hardened conversion kit. This is made with a reinforced upgrade kit and a hardened upgrade kit. And that's that guy. There's the signalum conversion kit, which is made with the hardened upgrade kit, reinforced upgrade kit and signalum upgrade kit. Or it can be made with a reinforced conversion kit and a signalum upgrade kit as well. And then there's the resonant conversion kit, and this is made with the hardened upgrade kit, the reinforced upgrade kit, signalum upgrade kit and resonant upgrade kit, and then you get that. And that can also be made with the reinforced conversion kit, the signalum upgrade kit and the resonant conversion kit, or the signalum conversion kit and the resonant upgrade kit. And what this guy basically does is it allows you to skip tiers of right clicking. So if I just install this guy, it'll take it straight to the reinforced version. You can also stack these on top of each other, but there's not really much point. So basically it just allows you to do that. Okay guys, so now on to augments, and the first one we have is the auxiliary reception coil. This is for all machines, and it basically just increases the processing speed, so it increases the maximum power usage, so additional power is required per operation, so it just eats more power, but it makes the machine faster. This guy's made with a redstone reception coil and 4 gold ingots. So if we grab some of these, so a normal machine would move at this speed, like so. If I add one of these guys in, it will go a bit faster, and then if I add all 4, you guys can test in between. It increases the amount of power in the machine basically. So the machines in thermal expansion, when they have more power, the more power they have basically, the faster they go. So there you go, it makes it pretty fast, like so. So that's what this guy does, the augment auxiliary reception coil. And next we have the augment auxiliary sieve, and this is for any machine with a secondary output basically. And basically what it does is it increases the chance of a secondary output, but obviously there is a downfall, so additional energy is required. So if we grab this guy and head on over to our pulverizer, and we just throw some of those in as well, just to make it go a bit quicker. If we stick iron ore in, it will increase the chance of getting pulverized nickel per process. So as you can see, we will probably get a bit more than you usually do. Basically increases the chances of getting another output. The next upgrade we have is the Augment Nullification Chamber, and this is for any machine again with a secondary output, and it basically just destroys the item that it makes. So if we head on over to this pulverizer, as you can see it is installed. It does work with the auxiliary sieve, but basically what happens is if I have iron ore in here, and I did say that it destroys all of it, but it doesn't. It destroys the excess. I didn't read it properly. But basically, if there is more than if there is a 64 of the pulverized nickel in here normally, it would just stop the machine. But now it just destroys the excess. Anything that is excess of the output just gets destroyed. And that's essentially what that thing does. The next augment we have is specifically for the redstone furnace, and what it does, it's called the Augment Trivection Chamber, and this basically gives you additional food when cooking, but only food items can be processed in the furnace, and only one of these can be used in a furnace at a time. So if we take that out and place that in, you'll notice we will smelt it up, and it will basically double the food we smelt within this guy, which is actually pretty useful, to be honest. So yeah, that's what this guy does. Okay guys, the next augment we have again is the Augment Flux and Anodizers. I can't even say that, but it's for the redstone furnace again, and basically what happens is you gain additional output when smelting ores in the redstone furnace. So but only ores can be processed now in this, and additional energy is required per process. So if we come over here, and only one of these are actually allowed to be put in to this guy at a time. So we'll add one of those in, and when we smelt ores now, you'll notice it'll double the ores, so you don't actually need a pulverizer anymore, which is pretty useful. That's basically what that guy does. It does occur to me I haven't shown the recipes for these guys quite yet. So firstly, for the Augment Auxiliary Sieve is the 4 bronze ingots and a redstone servo. For the Nullification Chamber, it is a lava bucket and 4 invar ingots. And for the Trivection Chamber, it is the redstone conductance coil, 2 silver plates, a copper gear, and a bricks. And for the Augment Flux Anodizers, it's the 2 invar plates, a conductance coil, a pyrotheum dust, and a bronze gear. So the next augment we have is the pyrolytic conversion, and this allows for creosote to be created, creosote oil, and this will be useful later on, so I will probably get to the use of it later on, but I'm going to show you how to make it right now. And it also allows only certain things to be processed, and this is only for the redstone furnace. This is made with a redstone servo, 2 copper plates, a nether brick, and an invar gear. So if we grab one of these guys, and if we go on the uses, then we'll notice that only certain things can be smelted, like hay bales, compressed sawdust, coal and wood, cactus, blocks of coal, and sugarcane, and these can all be turned into charcoal, or this stuff called coal coke, which is another fuel from the mod, or acts basically as coal from the mod. So if we come over into this redstone furnace, install this guy like so, and throw in some oak wood, you'll notice it will actually start smelting it through, and we will get some creosote oil and a bit of charcoal. Now this creosote oil will be useful later on, but for right now we'll move on past it and just say this is how you make creosote oil, and also how you make coal coke if you use specific things. So for the next thing we're going to be making, we are going to be needing some of this basalt's powder, and that is made from basalt's rods, which are obtained from basalt's the mob from thermal expansion. And basically you can craft these guys for 2, or you can pulverize them like every other rod in this mod, and get 4 and a output of pulverized obsidian as a secondary as a percentage chance. So now we are going to be making this petrotheum dust, and this is made with 2 of the basalt's powder, a piece of redstone, and a piece of pulverized obsidian, and that'll give you 2. So then we're going to be making the Augment Tectonic Initiator, and this is for the pulverizer, and it basically increases the yield from ores. So additional energy is required per operation, plus you have to supply tectonic petrotheum, which is the melted down version from the magma crucible, into the tectonic, and you get 250 millibuckets per one of the petrotheum dust, so 4 of these guys for 1 bucket full in the fluid transposer. And then we can take this tectonic initiator and take some tectonic petrotheum buckets like so. So now if I fill this guy up with tectonic petrotheum like so, and we throw in some iron ore, we are going to actually get 3 pulverized iron per ore now, as opposed to 2. Also, did forget to mention, the recipe for the Tectonic Initiator augment is the redstone servo, 2 bronze plates, a signalum gear, and a petrotheum dust. The next augment we have is for the Sawmill, and this is the Augment Resin Fuel. This basically allows for fluids to be extracted from logs, so things like sap, and resin. So it is required additional energy, and it is crafted with a redstone servo, 2 copper plates, a tin gear, and a bucket. Each log can give different things, so sap can be made from dark oak, and resin can be made from all the other logs basically. So if we come on over to the sawmill like so, place this guy in here, we throw in some oak wood, and you'll notice we are getting some sap in here, as well as increasing our log output to 6 times, also getting sawdust as well. And if we emptied this, then we'd get resin from the birch wood. Okay guys, so the next augment we have is for the induction smelter, and we have the augment metallurgical recovery, and basically this allows it to have a chance of not consuming metallurgic flux, so things like sand, slag, cinnabar, things that are commonly used in an induction smelter to combine 2 things, not in like things like making invar where you combine iron and nickel. This won't work for that. Only things like sand and cinnabar and stuff, like slag and stuff. So this is made with a redstone servo, 2 rich slag, a hardened glass, and a silver gear. If I install this device in here, you notice things that go into this slot when the metallurgic flux slot is locked. So if you unlock it and something will go in there, then this doesn't count. But anything that will go in there while this is locked, so things like cinnabar, will have a chance of actually being reused when this process is going through basically. So at some point, you can put multiple of these in, I do believe anyway. So if I put these in, then it'll go a bit slower, but as you'll see, that won't actually use, the cinnabar isn't used, it's still processing through basically. But that's essentially what these guys do. Okay guys, the next augment we have is the pyro concentrator augment for the induction smelter once again, and this basically increases the yield from ores, but additional energy is required and blazing pyrotheum must be supplied, like to the pulverizer for the other thing. But this is made with a redstone conductance coil, 2 nickel plates, a signalum gear, and a pyrotheum dust. So if we grab one of these guys, and if we head on into here, to get the blazing pyrotheum, you put pyrotheum dust into the magma crucible, and that'll give you 250 mil buckets. So that means you need 4 of the pyrotheum dust to get a bucket of pyrotheum. So if we head on over to the induction smelter now and install one of these guys, and we throw in some pyrotheum, you'll notice that all fills up. So if I throw this in now, it will actually give me 4 gold ingots as opposed to 2. And now we are moving on to the augments for the Phyto-genic insulator, and this is the nutrient recovery, and this basically provides a chance not to consume the fertilizer used in the machine. And this is made with 2 rich phyto-grow, a redstone servo, hardened glass, and a silver gear. So now that we're in here, if I go ahead and remove one of these augments, or you can actually replace all of them so you have a better chance of it not being used, place that and that in there, then we will start processing through. So you've got to kind of balance out speed versus saving resources, kinda, but yeah, this thing uses water as well. I think we've covered that before. But as you notice, the rich phyto-grow wasn't used during that process because we have decreased the chance of not using the fertilizer. So that's essentially what these guys do. And the next one we have is the augment sapling infuser, and this basically allows a tree to be grown in the Phyto-genic insulator. Obviously not all saplings are compatible, but this is made with a redstone servo, 2 lumium plates, an invar gear, and a piston. So if we grab some of these guys and we grab a sapling, any of the vanilla trees actually do work in this guy. So if we remove all of these guys here and install one of those, then we can throw in some of that, fill it up with water, and it will actually start growing oak wood, which is really, really cool. So now we've got 12 oak wood. So essentially this is like a tree farm, but in a single block. So the next thing we have again is the augment monoculture cycle. And this basically allows for non-fertilizer inputs to not be consumed. So you don't actually have to loop the seed back around into it. It will just keep it in its inventory, but the secondary chance is substantially reduced, and also additional energy is required, and you can only use one of these specializers per. So this requires a redstone conductance coil, 2 nickel plates, a signalum gear, and a flux phyto-grow. And if we head on over to the Phyto-genic insulator, throw this guy in here and the seeds in here, you'll notice the seeds here aren't actually used now, only wheat is produced. So that's essentially what the augment monoculture cycle does. So the next augment we have is for the Compactor, and this is the numismatic press, and this basically allows for the creation of currency. see. And this is just how you make the coins from thermal expansion. So any ingot can be turned into a coin. As you can see right here, we have all sorts of different coins here. We have the iron, gold, copper. So these can also be used as fuels, but we'll get to more of that later. But this guy is made with a redstone servo, 2 electrum plates, an invar gear, and an emerald. So if we grab one of these guys and an ingot of some form and go over to a compactor, which is right here, take one of these guys out and throw that in, and we throw that guy in, you'll notice we get 3 tin coins, and this is the same with any type of ingot or alloy from the mod. So yeah, that's essentially what the numismatic press does. And for the compactor again, we have the augment gear working die, and this basically allows you to create gears using the compactor, and this is made with a redstone servo, 2 lead plates, an iron gear, and a piston. And what it takes is 4 of that type of ingot, and this guy being in the compactor, and it will actually start making gears through a machine. Okay guys, the next augment we have is for the magma crucible, and this is the pyroconnective loop. So this basically allows for greater production of lava speed, and the only downfall is only lava can be created within that machine once this is installed. And this is made with a redstone reception coil, 2 pistons, an invar gear, and a nether brick. So if we grab one of these guys, head on over to the magma crucible, throw one of these guys in, and if we throw cobblestone in, it will actually increase the speed at which lava is made. So if I remove this, you'll notice this is very, very slow. If I add this in, it will make it a bit faster. Even with these auxiliary reception coils, it is very slow. But yeah, that's essentially all this upgrade does. Okay guys, so the next thing we have is the Augment Flux Linkage Concentrator, and this basically allows for the energetic infuser to charge items quicker. This guy is made with a redstone conductance coil, 2 silver plates, an electrum gear, and a lead ingot, and we can place this guy on over into the energetic infuser. So if we throw an energy cell in here now, it will actually allow this thing to be charged a lot quicker than it would without it, as you can see. And the next augment we have is the Flux Reconstruction, and this allows for damaged items to be repaired, but the downfall is items that are chargeable will no longer be rechargeable with this upgrade on, and also Essence of Knowledge must be supplied, so I will show you how to get that in a second. But this is basically the stuff here, and this is made with a redstone conductance coil, 2 hardened glass, an iron gear, and a block of iron. If we head on over to the energetic infuser now and throw that guy in. So if we add some of this Essence of Knowledge bucket in here, you'll notice, there you go. If we throw in a diamond pickaxe now, it will actually fully repair it, even though it had durability. So that's what that upgrade does. So there are 2 ways of getting the Essence of Knowledge, and one way is using this augment enstabulation apparatus, and this is for the centrifugal separator, and this basically allows for the processing of mobs. Mobs, you ask? Well, these are basically things that you can capture mobs in and move them around in, but only mobs can be processed then in the centrifugal separator. And this is made with a redstone servo, 2 diamond swords, a piston, and an invar gear. So if we grab one of these guys, and then we're going to need a mob. Mobs are made from slag, soul sand, slime balls, and an ender pill. And then basically what you do is you take any mob placed in the world and just throw the mob at it, and it will capture the guy in a mob, and this will be the mob with a husk in it then. If we grab this thing and head on over to the centrifugal separator, we throw in this little upgrade here, place this guy in here, you'll notice it will deconstruct it, give you rotten flesh and the mob. Also, it will give you Essence of Knowledge from that. Or you can take your Tome of Knowledge, which has experience stored in it, and place it in a fluid transposer, and it will turn it into Essence of Knowledge bucket, basically. So that's the simpler way of doing it. Okay guys, the next augment we have is again for the energetic infuser, and this is the parabolic flux coupling. And this allows for rapid wireless recharging of flux capacitors, so it allows you to recharge flux capacitors wirelessly as long as you're within range of the machine. And this is crafted with a redstone servo, 2 silver plates, an electrum gear, and a hardened glass. So if we place one of these guys on over in the energetic infuser, so if we remove that and place that, you'll notice it will actually start charging now the flux capacitor, but you can't actually place items in here to charge the items within the energetic infuser. So the next augment is actually for the sequential fabricator, and this is the pattern validation augment. And this basically adds intelligent auto input capability. Basically what it means is every item will get assigned 2 slots as opposed to just piling all the items into the system. So this is made with a redstone servo, 2 iron ingots, a tin gear, and a piece of glass. Normally what we do is we'd pipe items into here, and the items would just fill in the slots available to them even if like we wanted to craft like say a piston, it would, and we were piping iron, redstone, cobble and wood into here, if the wood was coming in faster, it would just fill this up and there would be no room for anything else. But if we add this guy in, basically what's going to happen is when we pipe something in, wood will only take up 2 of these slots, and then the cobblestone will take up 2, the redstone will take up 2, and then the iron will. And that's essentially what this guy does. The next thing we have is the Augment Fluidic Fabrication, and this basically is for the Sequential fabricator again, and this allows you to craft with fluids as well, so it adds a fluid tank to the machine. So say there was a recipe that required a lava bucket, like for the nullifier upgrade, you could just pipe lava in and just have buckets in the system, and it would keep crafting with the stuff in the system, as well as using the lava together with it. And this is crafted with a redstone servo, 2 copper ingots, a bucket, and a piece of glass, so I'll show you how this works now. So if I throw in some lava into here now, and I set the recipe as this with some invar nuggets, like so, and I set the recipe as that. If I place those in now, it will actually use the lava instead of me piping lava buckets in to actually make these augment nullification chambers like so. So you don't actually need the buckets in there. You can just, you know, pipe in lava. Okay guys, so the next thing we have is the augment reagent recovery. And this is for the alchemical imbuer. This basically provides a chance not to consume the reagent. So things like nether wart, blaze powder, anything used to make a potion. And this is made with a redstone servo, a glowstone dust, a redstone dust, a silver gear, and a piece of glass. So if we grab one of these guys and head over to the alchemical imbuer right here and replace that here, and you can also have more than one of these in there, I believe. Yes, then we can decrease the chances of actually using the reagent. So if I fill this up with water right now and throw some nether wart in, it'll go a bit slower, but efficiency versus, you know, resource use, and it has a chance of not actually using this nether wart. And that's essentially what this guy does. And onto our final chest of goodies now, we have the Augment Pyroclastic Injection. This is for the igneous extruder, and this basically allows it so water is not used during any operation, so you don't have to keep refilling your igneous extruder with water. And this is made with a redstone servo, and 2 invar plates, copper gear, and cryothium dust. So if we head on over to our igneous extruder and go like this, then you'll notice that we don't actually require any water to make cobblestone anymore, because basically it's just providing the water itself. And the same for the stone, we don't actually need any water anymore. For obsidian, we don't need any water anymore, so basically it just eliminates the need to pump water into this thing. And the next one we have is the Augment Clastic Deposition. This basically allows for the creation of sedimentary rocks, so things like sandstone, sand, gravel, red sand, etc. This is made with a redstone conductance coil, 2 lead plates, a nickel gear, and an erothium dust. So if we head over to the igneous extruder, place this guy in here, and we will go ahead and turn him on. We can now actually make gravel, which requires water. We can make sand if I throw in some more water, and we can make sand, red sand, sandstone, and red sandstone. So that's what this upgrade does, augment I mean. And onto our final machine, we have the fractionating still, and this one is the augment reflux column. So this basically greatly increases the conversion efficiency for fossil fuels. So it means like when we are making things like refined fuel, as opposed to turning naphtha into refined fuel, we'll say. So we'll go uses on this. So if we look at a normal one, it's 150 millibuckets to 100. If we put it in the reflux column though, it's 150 to 150. So it basically just increases the efficiency of creating fuel, which we will get into the uses for later. So if we this is crafted with a redstone conductance coil, 2 hardened glass, a constantan gear, and a blaze rod. So if we come over here and we come into here and we install this guy here and we just pump in some naphtha, we will turn 150 millibuckets into 150 millibuckets. And finally, we have the Augment Alchemical Retort. This basically allows for potions to be refined. What does that mean, you ask? Well, let's see the crafting recipe first. It is crafted with a redstone conductance coil, 2 lead plates, a signalum gear, and a cauldron. And basically what this allows to do is for you to turn like a instant health 3 potion, for example, into an instant health 4 potion. So it basically allows you to make potions better. Okay guys, I hope you did enjoy this one. I hope you did find it useful. It was a bit of a challenge remembering what all these guys did, but Google came to the assist sometimes. But yeah, as always, if you guys did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and I'll be back for the next part of Thermal Expansion mod review series.